Sweetwood Reviews. Hey guys, how we doing today? And I'm here to discuss the 1998 science fiction horror thriller film, Species 2. This film is a sequel to Species, and the second of the Species franchise. The basic plot has Patrick Ross, the astronaut son of a senator, being infected by an extraterrestrial organism during a mission to Mars, causing deaths of many women upon his return. To stop him, the scientists who created the human extraterrestrial hybrid, Syl, in the original species, to try using a better clone of hers, Eve. And this is produced by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Pictures, MGM, distributed by MGM, had a budget of $35 million, and at the box office made a measly $19.2 million. This was considered a box office bomb. But it did make 2 more sequels. And I should get into the cast real quick. Natasha Henstridge as Eve, Michael Madsen as Preston Lennox, Marge Hellenberger, Dr. Laura Baker, James Cromwell as U.S. Senator Judson Ross, Mackenzie Williams as Dennis Gamble, Richard Beiser as U.S. President, Justin Lazard as Patrick Ross, and Peter Boyle as Dr. Herman Cromwell. Well, we have a pretty good cast here, so let's get into the plot, shall we? While participating in a human mission to Mars, astronauts led by Commander Patrick Ross, Anna Sambus, and Dennis Gamble collected soil samples. While returning to Earth, the soil thaws and releases an alien substance that contaminates them and causes a brief contact gap with mission control. The trio return to Earth to public celebration, but an institutionalized former scientist, Dr. Cromwell, reacts to their return with violent panic. They are examined and quarantined to prevent them from engaging in sexual activity for 10 days. However, Ross ignores this and has sex with 2 women. To his horror, the pair undergo accelerated pregnancies and die giving birth to human-alien hybrids, which he hides in his father's remote shed. Meanwhile, under military supervision, scientists led by Dr. Laura Baker have created a more docile clone of Syl named Eve in an effort to understand the alien life form and prepare for defense should it ever arrive on Earth. Well, you know it's happening. While in isolation and undergoing tests, Eve shows signs of great psychological excitement every time Patrick has sex. At the Space Center, Patrick sneaks into the lab and kills Dr. Ornsky, who was trying to contact Dr. Cromwell about the astronauts' blood samples. Analysis of the corpse reveals the presence of alien DNA. Similar to yet distinct from Eve's, Baker reunites with his former colleague Preston Lennox to contain the new threat and contact Cromwell, who reveals Mars is rendered uninhabitable by an alien species. He was institutionalized to silence his opposition to the Mars mission, and Ornsky tries to call him to convert his fears. Whew, that's a lot of reading. Preston Laura finds Sampos as she has sex with her husband, only to suddenly become impregnated with a new alien newborn which kills the couple before Press and Baker kill it in turn. After government agents determined Gamble was not infected, the latter joins Baker and Press in their mission. Concurrently, Ross awakens to find his fiancée Melissa dead, having given birth to another hybrid. Horrified, he commits suicide. But his alien DNA fully takes over and regenerates his body before going on a killing spree to produce more offsprings. The scientists activate Eve's alien DNA so she can telepathically track Ross. Picking up on this, he gives himself up to Preston Gamble to infiltrate the lab and reach Eve as she goes into heat. However, he is chased off by Laura, Gamble, and Press. That night, Ross commands his offspring to form a cocoon so they can reach their adult stages and repeat the cycle on a global scale. After Baker discovers Gamble resisted infection because of his sickle cell trait, she plans to kill Ross with Gamble's DNA as the alien lacks immunity to human genetic diseases. As Eve escapes to find him, the team track her to Ross's nest, where she and Ross mate until they are interrupted by Press. The team kill most of Ross's offspring. Baker begs Eve to help them, which she does. But a betrayed Ross seemingly kills her. Press uses the pitchfork to draw Gamble's blood and use it on Ross, killing him. When the military arrive to escort the team away, Eve is loaded into an ambulance where she is joined by Ross's remaining offspring while her womb rapidly swells. The screen goes to black, leading to the events of the third film. ... #sequel continued. See you later. Okay, so let's get into my thoughts of the film. We have a great cast here, guys. Natasha Henstridge is Eve. Now, she is not as main of a character as the first one. She has kind of a smaller, not as explicit role, if that makes sense. So we all a little bit disappointed by that, but she does pretty good nonetheless. Michael Madsen does great again. Rest in peace. He does great, and he's very likable in here. James Cromwell did a great job as the senator here. I thought he did a great job with Justin Lazard's character, Patrick Ross. And in a way, you know, this film got terribly reviewed in the past. And the first time I watched this, I really didn't like this. But going back on it, I started to like it a lot more. And you think of it as, although it's very different from the first one, I think what makes this film a little bit more scarier is that Patrick Ross, Justin Lazard's character, technically becomes almost like a kidnapper and a rapist in a way, you know? Which is very creepy indeed. And so I think Justin Lazard did a great job as Patrick Ross. He was a pretty good villain. One hell of a bad guy right there, man. One hell of a bad guy. And a scene that I really particularly liked was that there's a scene where Patrick Ross, Lazard's character, takes a shotgun and blows his head off, basically. So it's just gone. And so I know this is 90s CGI, And of course, you didn't have all the best CGI in the world, but the the head starts like morphing back together with the bone and not just CGI was cool and all that, but it was cool seeing that kind of regenerate. That was pretty cool to see on screen. And I think we have a pretty good cast here. Although I think what made this one fail is that you wanted more of the hot blonde, if that makes sense. Natasha Henstridge, and we kind of got something completely different from what it was supposed to be. So I can see why, it bombed terribly, but does it deserve all the hate in the world? No, I don't think so, if that makes sense. I think it definitely is an underrated sequel, but it is not the best in the world, but it's somewhat enjoyable for what it is. And I did see some deleted scenes for this movie too, so it made it a little bit better. Although this is still a great science fiction horror film in my book, I still think it's a good horror sci-fi film, and it's certainly still enjoyable. The cast is good. You do get some sex scenes too, so people, you know what you came for. The graphic content. You got some graphic content, so calm down, boys. Calm down. Calm down, girls. Calm down. You still kind of get what you're asking for. Although it's a little bit of I guess it's a new take on that. But overall, I still enjoyed Species 2 for what it is. I still enjoyed it, so it definitely not the greatest in the world, but I still had some fun with it, so there's that. So that is my Species 2 review. Let me know what you think in the comments below. See you guys in the next one. Take care. Much love.